Hey everyone, what's up? It's Greg Trzavosty with the Deepest Dream YouTube channel. For more movie and television interviews and reviews, please subscribe to my channel. I host a weekly podcast with my buddies Bruce Perky and Eric Holmes called CinemAddicts. A bunch of our reviews are housed on this channel as well, along with a bunch of press junket interviews I do with actors in television and film and whatnot. All that stuff aside, Wednesday season 2, first half, first 4 episodes. I've seen them. I want to give my spoiler-free just take on why I think it's pretty much a must-watch if you're a fan of the first season. And I'm going to give you 4 reasons why season 2, part 1 of Wednesday is worth your time and your watch. And please, in the comments, tell me if you agree or disagree. What was your take? I'm sure a lot of you are going to binge watch these 4 episodes pretty quickly. So would love to hear your insights on if you think the first 4 episodes is as brilliant as I'm attesting to or assessing. Anyways, all that said, again, it's gonna be a brief overview. I'm not gonna give any spoiler stuff or just plot points and whatnot. I'm gonna give you 4 reasons why, spoiler free, this series is worth a watch. The second half, this season 2. All right, first up, I'm looking at my notes right now. Misdirection. Number 1 is misdirection. And what does that mean? Is there is a certain, I don't want to say character or plot point. Sometimes when a plot point or a character, for a lot of people, I'm sure if you're a veteran of binge watching shows on Netflix or any other streamer, you'll see a character or a plot point come in and you're going to sniff out a way what's going to happen with the story or said person. There is a really great misdirection in Wednesday. I think that happens. I'm not going to say which episode it happens, but it absolutely surprised me. Actually, there's one big misdirection. I thought I saw the situation and I said, this is what's going to happen. Too predictable. I was wrong. So credit to the writers for that and loved it. Also, there are I would say there's a couple of shocking moments within the first 4 episodes, which, although not a misdirection, completely surprised me. So within this misdirection reason, there is a slight subset of this show at 4 episodes in surprised me a whole bunch. So that's a very good positive sign to go. But again, I was biasly won over when I just had the rug swept under my feet when a situation happened with a certain someone and I go, whoa, what? That just happened. And I never saw it coming. That's a good thing. And I never had that misdirection surprise from the first season. I still love the first season, but I never had that shock. I was never that shocked until, and when you see it, you might not be thinking it's as big of a deal as I did, but anyways, that's spoiler stuff, and I'm not going to mention it, but wow, credit to them for that misdirection stuff. Number 2, variety. What do I mean by that? Each episode is not a filler episode. Sometimes in a series, you'll get to a certain episode where it's just, you like it because of the vibe, effort, or just the way it is. You love the character so much and they can go on a random side quest and you're just going to have, it's just a hang episode where it just fills up time and maybe a series or commitment order from these showrunners and they'll just put in an episode which doesn't mean a thing. These 4 episodes, each of them are filled with subplots. A lot of recognizable actors are actually enter in the Wednesday universe, which is great. And there's not in my opinion, there's not a wasted moment within the first 4 episodes, even though there's a lot of strings to be tied together, a lot of subplots involving not just Wednesday, but a lot of the characters in Nevermore. If you want some more stuff on Bianca, you're going to get it. If you want to see more of Eugene and his flying insects, you're going to get that as well. So there's some really great spotlights on the Nevermore students, which you're going to get. Also, we're going to get to the other reason in a second, but I really love the fact that the action and the variety varied from episode to episode. And what I mean by the action is there's certain mysteries that are trying to be solved. If you look at the trailer, and this is not a big spoiler because this is actually in the main trailer, Wednesday's trying to prevent the death of Enid, okay, that she sees in her psychic dream. The thing with that is that's one of the many mysteries that are actually on display in the first 4 episodes. Even though that is a very big the spine of the narrative. There are other little mysteries that are really cool to be, hopefully, will be solved throughout the season. So it's just not that main thing that you saw in, if you saw the Netflix trailer, it's not just about trying to save Enid. There's a lot of different subplots that I really enjoyed. And one of them, which I think it was in the trailer, I'll get to that regarding Wednesday's character arc as well. But anyways, there is a lot of variety, a lot of celebrity, not celebrities, a lot of different actors. Steve Buscemi's in this as a new principal for Nevermore, and he's really good in this as well. But there's other people who actually pop up from possibly season one, and they're spotlighted in the first four episodes as well, which is really good. I'm sure a lot of you know that the character of Xavier is not in the second season, and I thought that was a huge bummer because he's such a big factor. But the way the writers shoehorned his story in to the first episode and having that his effect on Wednesday and Nevermore and that whole community, just there's a simple little plot point regarding Xavier, which I thought was really good because you could still, even though he's not there, his presence was so much felt in the first season. At least you get a little bit of it in the second season. And he's, even though he's not, at least from the first four episodes, he's not in it, or he was probably not even part of the show. I don't have the name of the actor. I don't have IMDb up right now. He's so great in the first season, but you still feel his presence, at least within the first episode in setting up the entire fabric of the first four episodes. So I'm glad the writers didn't just, when they wrote him off, it wasn't just like a distant memory. They did not throw the character of Xavier away. So again, lots of subplots, lots of really cool characterizations and spotlights. But all that said, with so many stuff going on, so much stuff going on, I don't feel things are sacrificed on a plot level or a storytelling level. Everyone gets ample time, and it's all pretty much interesting to me. I think there is the Bianca subplot. I'm gonna let cook for a little bit. I'm just glad that she's getting a lot more play this season. Okay, so those are my first two reasons. Third reason is a pretty big reason for me. One thing I wanted from the first season was a little bit more from the Addams family, and you're gonna get a lot of that in the first four episodes, whether it's seeing Pugsley getting into Nevermore Academy. He has a big role in the first four episodes, and he's actually a big linchpin regarding one of the subplots, which is huge. And I'm sure a lot of people reviewing it will mention why Pugsley is a big factor, but I'm not going to say. But it's great to see him finally get his spotlight in the Wednesday universe. And what's interesting is the series is called Wednesday, but there's so much Addams family in the first four episodes that it could really be considered either the Addams family, ultimately. And that's a good thing because you get to see a lot more Catherine Zeta-Jones, and she has some really great interplay with Wednesday, with Jenna Ortega, and the mother and daughter complex relationship continues through this season, and it's great to see it happen. And they have a certain face-to-face confrontation, which is memorable, and it's a really nice callback to Catherine Zeta-Jones's career and one of her most popular roles. Let's just say that regarding, and hopefully that's spoiler-free enough for you. So there's a lot more Addams family, a lot more Pugsley, a lot more Catherine Zeta-Jones. And yeah, Gomez is going to be Gomez, and Lurch is going to be Lurch. He's in it too. Gomez is in it a lot too. And of course, there's a hand too. But ultimately, the first four episodes, you're going to get a lot more of the Addams family members. I wanted more of Morticia, and I wanted more of Pugsley, and I got a lot more of that from the first four episodes. Hopefully, if that's what you wanted from the first season, or kind of, yeah, if that's what you were wishing for, you're going to get that within the first four episodes. So that's reason number three. Reason number four, the character evolution of Wednesday. And it's weird because when Wednesday gets back to Nevermore, this was already shown in the trailer. When she returns to Nevermore with her family, she is begrudgingly she wants to be back, but she does not like getting all the fanfare that she's receiving from the younger students because of all of her heroic efforts in season one. And she just does not want to be famous. She just wants to be left alone and write her novels and just be friends with Enid up in the tower in their room. And she doesn't want anyone bothering her, but now she has all of these people looking at her as some kind of heroic avatar or just this heroic model, and she doesn't want any of that. So the first 4 episodes deals with her not really not even being conflicted. She's Wednesday. She does not want that on her doorstep whatsoever. But then her actions by actually not wanting that or not welcoming that actually has their repercussions. Also, what's really cool is there is, maybe I'm drawing a weird parallel, but when Wednesday came out 3 years ago, Jenna Ortega was a known actress, but in the 3 years since she's become an even bigger star. And I don't know if Ortega wants that fame or whatnot, but it's great to see Ortega grow as an actress in Wednesday. And even with her star power, I really loved at how the writers, showrunners decided to put actually the show, even though the show is called Wednesday, the rest of the ensemble gets a chance to shine. And actually, there are times when you feel like she's not the main character in the series. Even though she's pulling a lot of the strings, there are so many other supporting players who get their moment to actually do their own side quests or to complete certain things at Wednesday's behest. And it's great to see. Also, how can you expand on a character who's so well defined like Wednesday was in season 1? You get to see a lot more character flaws with Wednesday because there's a certain situation with her psychic powers that she's trying to develop it, but she's having a lot of problems with her own psychic powers. And she goes through certain maneuvers and decision making steps that you, as the viewer, might not be on board with. There are times actually in the series, in the first 4 episodes, where you're going to be questioning Wednesday's motivation or her decision making skills. And at times, lack, her antisocial behavior, you might not, although it's funny and it's cool and it makes Wednesday, there are certain decisions she makes that you go, oh, that was a little bit heartless. Maybe you should have been a little bit nicer, or you made a mistake and whatnot. And it's great because there are times in the first 4 episodes where I felt she was a little bit unlikable at times. And I really enjoyed that as well. There's a lot of colors to her character. And one would not assume that there would be different colors to her character when Wednesday is such a defined character, especially from season 1. You get to see her grow in certain ways that might be negative in the second season. And I understand why she's making these certain decisions. We mentioned Enid at the beginning of this recording about how she's trying to save Enid. All that said, her focus on solving a really huge mystery. She leaves pretty much everyone in her wake. She does not matter who she tramples over or who she hurts on her mission. And it'll be interesting to see what will happen throughout the rest of this series. Will one of her decision making, one of her moves on the chessboard, will they fall? Will they actually turn around and bite her in the what? Will someone actually really not benefit from her decision making? And what will be the cost? I don't know. That could happen in the second half. I'm not going to say if it happens in the first half, okay? But it'll be interesting to see. Maybe Wednesday, as smart as she is, as heroic as she is, as brave as she is, I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season, maybe she might make some or 1 or 2 fateful mistakes. That would be interesting to see. So yeah, number 4 is the way Wednesday is characterized in the first 4 episodes of season 2. Finally, and I love this, reason number 5, no cheating. What I mean by no cheating is sometimes when you get a series and they chop it up into 2 parts, by the final episode of part 1, it'll be on some kind of really cool cliffhanger where you're just waiting on bated breath for the second season. And you'll maybe even be frustrated because they leave so many loose threads and it feels like a cheat. Meaning, yeah, they're just that final episode from part 1 is for you to just be excited for the second half, which will come out a couple months later. And that's understandable. But then the fact this was really cool for Wednesday, the 4th episode, there is a lot of stuff that happens that is absolutely crazy. And it leaves me really excited for the second half. But there's so much that happens in the fourth episode that I was very happy that the first half feels like a contained universe in and of itself. There are a lot of things that feel not resolved, but there are a lot of things that are answered in the first four episodes, and a lot more questions, of course, for the second half, but you feel like you're actually eating a full meal and you're waiting for the next really good meal in November when the second season commences over on Netflix. So the second half of Wednesday. So I did not feel cheated by the fourth episode. Would love in the comments, tell me what you think of the fourth episode, because there's a lot of stuff that happened that is, like I said, I can't believe it. I can't believe some of the stuff really happened. And again, I go back to the first reason, which is misdirection. There's also a misdirection that happens specifically in the last episode, which I thought would never happen. Okay. So there's a lot of surprise. Yeah. Let me just go over this again. Number one, misdirection, a lot of surprises. Awesome. Number two is, variety. There's a lot of variety in the series. There's the ensemble. There's a lot of just actors in it, but it doesn't feel overstuffed or overbaked. The stories are well told and well written. Number three is there's a lot more Addams Family in the mix. Number four is the continued evolution of Wednesday's character, sometimes even making her a little bit more unlikable. And number five is, the series isn't cheating you, at least for the first half. We're going to have to figure out what happens with the second half. Who knows? Maybe the second half will be a letdown. I'm a pessimist sometimes, but right now, for the first four episodes, I loved every single second of this. I liked it even more than the first season. So my rating for the first four episodes of Wednesday, 5 stars. 5 stars for first four episodes of Wednesday season 2. In the comments, please leave your thoughts on your thoughts on the first four episodes. Is it a 5-star situation for you? Are there imperfections? If so, the flaws, please point them out below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching the video, supporting this Deepest Dream YouTube channel. Please comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.